Bismillah. Selamünaleyküm.
Participants are the Turkish-speaking people. I'm advised to address my speech in Turkish. That's why, like, if you need translator, you can have your microphones or your headphones there. And I will conduct my speech in Turkish if you allow me. Değerli katılımcılar, hepiniz hoş geldiniz.
Distinguished participants, welcome. I would like to thank the organizers and the Cihannuma Association for putting together this event and for giving me the opportunity to share the findings in our report. In this session, we will be sharing the findings of a research report titled Philanthropy in Turkey, which we conducted in recent months. This research was conducted by Kızılay Academy, the research department of the Red Crescent, and the Indiana University, the Muslim Philanthropy Initiative. And we are sharing the findings of our research in various platforms all around the world to build a discussion platform. And the background, we will be talking about the concept of philanthropy, which we use to mean different things in Turkish life, like the love of mankind, voluntary action for public good, or voluntarily spending your time and energy for public good. And Muhibbi İnsaniye was the term that was used in ancient texts. We also like to use this concept. And there is a very rich literature in the English-speaking literature. And in Turkey, we see a body of research is being built with the support of various foundations and is being developed as an independent discipline in Turkey. And we don't have enough data to measure philanthropy or to benchmark philanthropy activities. For example, Koç University published 3 versions of a philanthropy report starting from the year 2022. But we do not have a lot of data to help us make a detailed comparison, and we hope that this research will bridge a gap in literature. And in literature review, we saw that there were other researches conducted to measure philanthropy. One of them is the World Giving Index, and the other one is the Global Philanthropy Index. These are different methods used to measure the philanthropy activities in different countries. Of course, we can offer some criticism about them as well. And Muslim philanthropy, the research on Muslim philanthropy has been enriched in literature in recent years. Actually, this is a rather secular area. But starting in the year 2000, the number of these studies have gone up, and there have been more researchers looking at Muslim philanthropy and published in various journals and publications. I am sharing some of the examples on this slide. I thought you might be interested. And we also have the UN actors, MSF, or Médecins Sans Frontières, the Doctors Without Borders. which may be considered as secular actors in the world of philanthropy. UNHCR has been collecting zakah for the last 5 years, and they're collecting a significant amount. They have a dedicated department for collecting zakah. Many UN institutions have departments looking at zakah. Many international organizations are trying to get a share of the cake of zakah, and they are also trying to use other donation instruments to channel more funds into their organizations. We have various kinds of data, but the estimate is around 200,000 million to $1 billion. The UN has requested a budget of $50 billion for the charity activities that are planned for the year 2025. That is very important to understand the gap between the funds that are available and the funds that are required. And as an academic area, the philanthropy research is an important domain of research. And at the University of Indiana, we work with the professors at the Muslim Philanthropy Initiative. We conducted this research in April. We used NUTS 2 classification. We implemented this in 12 cities with 1,200 persons. The survey has been conducted in Pakistan, Kuwait, and Bahrain. And in the future, and in Turkey, we are planning to conduct the same survey in Nigeria, Indonesia, and Malaysia. This will help us collect more comparative data to have a better understanding of this subject. The survey had 3 important components. In the literature of Islamic charity, we have 2 categories like zakah and donations, but volunteering activities are also important. So we have 3 categories in total: volunteering, zakah, and donations. We asked the participants whether they have paid any zakah or did any volunteer work or made any donations in the last 1 year. Let me share the findings with you, and after that, we can continue with your comments and questions. Have you donated last year? We had this very generic question. 77% of the participants said yes. Here we need to remember that we are talking about the year 2023, and it was the year when we had a major earthquake in Turkey. So the earthquake had differentiated the routine activities of people. We were going through a very extraordinary time, so you can consider that these numbers are very extraordinary, because 77% is rather high as compared to the other studies conducted in Turkey and abroad. And looking at the demography, we see that people at middle age and above have more propensity to donate. And how much and the giving modalities. Did you donate in cash or in kind? Or did you donate your time? Or did you do volunteer work? 66% said they made donations in cash. Here, we will be These details, these differentiations are very important for us to consider when planning our humanitarian aid organizations. And the giving causes, food, environment, and mosque building and education are the areas that stood out. So food aid. We see that food is a priority area for the donors in Turkey. And who did you donate to? Did you donate directly to the people in need, or did you donate via an organization? Very clearly, we see that a higher percentage of the participants donated directly, 67%. This data tells us a lot, because institutionalization of donation activities, the trust in organizations, and informal ways of donating, measuring these donations and measuring their impact. This data shows that we are far behind in understanding those aspects. Some people just donate to anybody that they think is fit. Others talk to their neighbors to find someone in need to whom they can donate. So there are different behaviors that we see when people donate. But we see that the majority of the participants choose to donate directly to individuals instead of organizations. This is somehow related to the trust in civil society organizations and the campaigns organized by these organizations. And depending on the educational status and age, the tendencies may also differ, but we cannot talk about those details due to time limit. And did you give zakat last year? That was also a very clear question, and 59% of the participants said yes. And timing of zakat and the frequency of zakat and the timing of zakat during Ramadan or Dual Hijjah or end of year or periodically throughout the year. As you may all agree, more people are likely to give zakat during Ramadan, but there's also a significant number of people who give zakat periodically throughout the year, as we have seen in our findings. And do you give zakat to the same individual every year, and do you give zakat to the same organization every year? And you see we have the answers yes, no, and sometimes in our options. Dark red is yes, light red is no, and the dark brown is sometimes. This shows that we don't have too much donor loyalty in our country, in this sample. Some donors are not satisfied with their previous donation and choose to donate to other individuals or organizations the next time. Rather than a very focused approach on a specific individual or an organization, people donate in rotations. And volunteering. In addition to financial donations and zakat, we had a third component of our research. We asked the participants if they have volunteered for any cause in the past year, and 69% said yes. This is actually higher than the global average. Maybe the next year we can ask the same question to compare. But because of the earthquake, people participated in the volunteer activities more than normal. And the demography of volunteers, here we see that 55 plus participants were more likely to volunteer, but the young people aged between 25 to 34 are also very prominent in volunteering activities. And volunteering hours, how many hours do you think you volunteer total towards all causes? Less than 20 hours and 20 to 60 hours. So we see that more than half of the participants volunteered less than 20 hours throughout the year. And the volunteering causes, how much percentage of your volunteering hours did you devote to the following causes? We see that environmental activities remarkably stood out. Mosques and hospitals and volunteering at religious institutions stood out. And food and humanitarian aid were the other prominent areas where we see the highest volunteering activity. And the key findings of this study: in which areas people donated more or participated in philanthropic activities, we see that food and relief remain the top recipients of philanthropic activities in Turkey as compared to other areas. And cash donations constitute the largest part of the giving, with 66%. In Europe and in other parts of the world, the percentage of in-cash donations and in-kind donations are quite different, because in-kind donations may sometimes be sold as second-hand goods and used for other purposes. We see that this is not very popular in our country. And I think one of the things that we need to underline is that informal and in-kind giving and volunteering activities are very common, and this is an important finding for the public sector and the institutions working in this area. The aid programs or the donation campaigns may not be very well established, or maybe the donors did not trust in these organizations. Also, the cultural trends may help to understand this. But in any case, this is a key finding for the institutions which conduct activities in this area. And we see that most donors, 59%, confirmed that they gave zakat in 2023. And the earthquake relief was an important area that triggered volunteering activities. And method of donations. In terms of method of donations, we see that younger populations are more likely to donate via online channels. So we can call this online philanthropy as a new trend or a new behavior. We can continue this session with your comments and questions. My colleagues are telling me that it would be best for all to stop here without hearing the questions and comments. Our report is available online, and you can contact me to get more detailed information, and we are open for any kind of collaboration, and we are also ready to share our data because this study is being conducted in other countries as well, so it's not finished yet, and I think your contributions will be very valuable in the process. Once again, I would like to thank the Cihan Numa Association for giving me this opportunity, and I hope the presentation has been useful for you. We would like to thank Dr. Selman Salim Kesgin for this presentation. We have a gift for him. Yusuf Eren, the Vice President of Cihan Numa Association, will deliver his gift now.
Tamam, kutuya koyalım.